Hi, I'm a developer.
And I'm from IT operations.
Old tools and processes used to keep us siloed.
Then we switched to Jira Service Management from Atlassian. Now we can respond to requests faster, manage change, and have better visibility into our work.
Yeah, thanks to Jira Service Management, we now have more free time.
So we started a band.
A heavy metal band. With Jira Service Management powering service delivery, we have more time to rock.
Amp up your service delivery. Learn more at Atlassian.com/Jira Service Management.
Just quieten down, baby.
Per capita export value.
Library. Minister, are you embarrassed by your behavior today?
There's a lot of bleeding hearts around.
Do you have the fortitude or the gonads to stand up and come across here and say that to me, you son of a bitch?
Just watch me.
He certainly went too far, Mr. Speaker, when I saw him stick his tongue out.
Contemptuous disregard.
More than a slab of bacon talking here.
The disappointment you also feel is my responsibility.
I lost my temper.
What is the nature of your thoughts?
The word was F-A-R-T.
Oh, Jesse, hello.
Oh, Reese.
This is Canadian Politics is Boring. I'm Reese. This is Jesse. Jesse, last episode we did a 9-minute intro before we got into the meaty content about Stephen Harper's, which I think is A, self-indulgent and B, alienating to new listeners. So
I mean, do you know what like the podcasts are for? Is self-indulgent behavior, man. That's why we do this.
Yeah,
it's to encourage other people to start their self-indulgent behavior as well and scream into the void.
Yeah, I mean, like Instagram was designed for boasty people or people with just oh look, I've got a abs, so and someone's like,
I've got abs.
This.
You don't even know how abs work or what they're called.
No,
we haven't done in a very long time, Reese, and I'm really sorry for our listeners who feel deprived about this. Is a little bit of ASMR. So right now in front of me, I have a bowl.
Oh, I've got a Starburst.
Right, and this bowl is some rice pudding with sprinkled with ground cloves. Here we go. I don't know if you can hear this.
It's like a little fart noise.
I'm gonna take a little put. It smells so good. I'm gonna just.
All I heard was a little.
I can't eat it when you're making fart noises, Reese.
Sorry. I'll be honest, we didn't really hear a lot of that. It doesn't sound as good as maybe you imagine in your head, but
right.
Listen to this Starburst. Well, sure.
Okay, that's fucking disgusting sounding. You need practice of this ASMR stuff, man. I watch videos. I've taken courses. I've gone to ASMR conferences. Nobody talks.
ASMR conferences. What's it called? What are they?
It's just called
Shh-con.
Yeah.
I got some good news. Starburst over. I got some good news. Your uncle, is it John Buchanan?
John Buchanan, yeah.
I'm in the middle of researching a great episode about a political scandal involving him.
What?
Yeah, we're going to do an episode in the future featuring your uncle.
All right, he passed away just a few years ago.
It's not a bad. It doesn't cast him in a bad light.
Okay. I was going to say some family members might not be too happy if I.
No. It's kind of the scandal is hilarious, but it doesn't like. There's some really nice stories about him too.
Okay, good. I'll look forward to it.
It's kind of more bizarre and funny, if you know what I mean, than anything else. He didn't try and suppress science or or pretend that people wanted to be in a band with him.
Right. Okay. Well, no, I look forward to it. Being conservative back in the 70s and 80s was apparently dramatically different than being conservative today.
They were Nazis.
Right. And they probably didn't pretend pandemics didn't fucking exist. Do you have any idea how many of my friends have COVID or have been getting COVID? And like the world is
Not
like,
me.
It's fine. It's totally fine. Come on. Just come into the, it's fine. Everything's okay. Pandemic over. Even like the fucking, all the world's epidemiologists are like, this is not over. What is everyone doing? It was like, it's over. We're done. Like,
It's like You know, like they must feel like they're in what's that film with Jim Carrey where he lives in a TV show?
Truman Show.
The Truman Show. Where like you know when he kind of realizes he's in the Truman Show and he's like he's going around trying to work everything out. It must be like that because everyone's just carrying on with their routine. And it's like, are we the only ones who know? And no one's listening to me. I think it must be like that kind of sequence when he's like, shit, everything is repeated itself and everyone's an actor.
Yeah.
But
well,
anyway,
before
I tried to get it, but I failed. I didn't get it.
I know you've got one of those. There are tests, there's studies happening right now because of people like you who have been easily subjected to it.
I was definitely exposed to it for a good couple of weeks and close, and
you kept taking tests too. It wasn't just that you didn't have any symptoms. You took tests, and it was negative every single time. So there are studies happening right now for people like you who were exposed to it and didn't get it, and they're like, "What is happening? What is going on with these people?" And they're getting these people, and they're like taking some COVID in a Q-tip, and they're jamming it into these people's noses. So like, there's no fucking way their body, right. And there's no but the fucking way their body does not have COVID.
Resurrected like, some Nazi scientists.
That's the name of the group.
Yeah.
The resurrection. Except it's Nazi with 3 Z's, so it's a slight different. It's a different take. It's not exactly
rebranded for a new age.
Exactly right. So
yeah. I honestly, my theory, the reason I didn't get it is just you don't get it if you're cool. So
right. That's what I heard too when this all started.
Just ask your local epidemiologist. Your friendly neighborhood epidemiologist. Mine's called Carl. What's your epidemiologist called?
Dr. Foopface.
Nice.
Yep. He loves that name.
Do you want to do an episode?
Sure, fuck it. Let's do it.
So you know we did Tunagate.
I do. That was a very famous episode.
And then we did Wolfgate.
Oh, I see where you're going. Okay. All right.
Well, I've got a new gate.
All right.
Cucumber Gate.
Well, that just rolls off the tongue now, doesn't it?
Cucumber Gate. Is that better?
Yes, but only if you add music and sound effects like you did for the others.
I'll see if I have time.
Okay.
Like in when I count to 3, on the count of 3, either I will have done it or we'll just have awkward silence.
I'll sing Cucumber Gate, but in like a really high pitched sort of echoey in the background sort of thing. Okay, ready?
1, 2, 3.
Cucumber Gate.
Nice. Well, I definitely got to do something with that. That was great.
Thanks.
So the year was 1989.
I missed my calling.
Yeah, it did. The back-in vocals of 80s rock you could have done. So the year was 1989, and this is from an article I found written by Kathy White from Maclean's magazine. And it was about the fact that Charles Power, who was the agriculture minister in Newfoundland, resigned from Premier Brian Peckford's cabinet. And he declared that his conscience did not allow him to work for a government that continued to pump money into a project that was off the rails. And it was all about cucumbers.
Okay. Sorry, I'm eating a giant spoonful of rice pudding and frozen fruit.
Yeah, so Newfoundland, looking to diversify his economy and kind of branch out into like new industries, not famous for cucumbers, but they invested $22 million. And this is 1989 money, which means, with inflation, that's probably like $30 billion. And it was a $22 million cucumber growing complex operated by Calgary businessman Philip Sprung and his family on 8 acres of land near St. John's.
Would you quit a job over this? So, okay, I don't know. I haven't heard of it. What's going on yet? But a 22 million cucumber investing like farmland. I don't know. It makes sense because like Cape Breton and Newfoundland has been known to, it's difficult to export anything out of there. They tried like call centers. They tried, at one point NASA even thought about like putting a space station there because it was really good for the orbit and such. A good
They should
place,
probably put it
not
in
good
space.
for the orbit, a good place to launch from is what I meant, but that didn't happen.
If it was me, I'd put the space station in space. But I mean, Newfoundland's good too as a backup.
Launching station.
Okay.
I say with a mouthful of rice pudding. How does anyone take me seriously?
Yeah. Why am I not floating? You're in Newfoundland. So this company, Charma Holdings.
Hold on, what?
Charma Holdings Limited was the name of the company.
Charma.
Hello, I'm from Charma Holdings Limited.
You sound like, you know what this sounds like? You sound like the villain from Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom when they're chanting when he's plunging his hand into some dude's chest and pulling out the heart.
Not a lot of people realize they filmed that in Newfoundland.
Right. Yep. There you go.
Yeah.
That's where they got
doubled as India.
Chamaha.
So Charma Holdings Limited, they asked the government for financial support because they had this kind of plan of a series of like high tech, innovative greenhouses, and they claimed the greenhouses significantly accelerated plant growth by combining a specially designed biophotic fabric covering, which enhanced sunlight with a sophisticated hydroponics process. So hydroponics, growing plants without soil by bathing the roots in nutrient-rich kind of solutions.
I actually didn't know that hydroponics didn't use soil. That's new.
Yeah, it's just like if you're going to do it in your space station in Newfoundland. And according to Sprung, the company had spent $35 million in 10 years developing the high-tech greenhouses, and now they were looking to license the rights to interested parties. And he predicted he could grow 6.7 million pounds of cucumbers and tomatoes in the first year and increase to 9 million pounds by the fifth year. However, he offered no concrete or independently verified evidence that any of this could be achieved.
That's fucking hilarious. What was this guy's name again, and where was he from?
He was from Calgary, and his name was Philip Sprung.
Philip Sprung. I mean, that does sound like a cartoon character.
He does. It's like the monorail guy from The Simpsons,
right? Yeah.
Cucumbers. Anyway, that was the first Simpsons episode written by.
No, it wasn't.
What's his name? The guy, the podcaster you like. You said is the best podcaster in the world.
Oh my God, Conan O'Brien.
I think that was the first Simpsons episode he was a writer on. Was the monorail one.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's fucking cool.
I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, you get to punch me in the face. He basically Sprung claimed that he'd been doing this since 1985, but he didn't have any...
Hold on, sorry. Just processed what you said. Conan O'Brien.
By processed, you mean typed into Google what you just said?
I don't know. First, was there appearances? I'll have to look this up later because I'm just researching and burping into the mic, and that makes for good podcast.
This is just good dead air.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm a developer.
And I'm from IT operations.
Old tools and processes used to keep us siloed.
Then we switched to Jira Service Management from Atlassian. Now we can respond to requests faster, manage change, and have better visibility into our work.
Yeah, thanks to Jira Service Management, we now have more free time.
So we started a band.
A heavy metal band. With Jira Service Management powering service delivery, we have more time to rock.
Amp up your service delivery. Learn more at Atlassian.com/Jira Service Management.
There was skepticism around the plan and whether you could actually grow cucumbers in Newfoundland's cold climate and the reduced sunlight, and that the technology might not be as effective as Sprung was claiming. And Sprung said they needed an artificial lighting system and that would solve the problem. So the province was like, yeah, let's do this. We imagine if we get this right, we'll be, producing more cucumbers than everyone can eat.
So hold on,
we'll export
the government. The government agreed to give tens of millions of dollars to a project that had no proof as to what they were offering.
No, but you just shake hands and is a done deal. It's fine. If you like the
people with money like this, okay.
I like the cut of your jib. Here's a lot of money. So the province, in the end, at the point when the agriculture minister resigned, they put like $17 million into the project, and the agriculture minister said, "The straw that broke the camel's back was when I learned that the Sprungs are sending $7,000 a day to keep an empty greenhouse lit so that snow would melt and not cave the roof in." So at that point, they weren't growing anything. They just needed to keep it warm so it wouldn't fall apart.
So hold on. Why? Okay, here's what I don't understand already. So perhaps his newfangled, tech of growing things faster with what's this? What's it called again?
Hydroponics.
Hydroponics. Thank you. Maybe that was bullshit, but from what I understand, hydroponics is very real and it works quite well. So like, why couldn't they grow anything? Like it's, from what I understand, you could they can grow it in space. You can definitely grow hydroponically grow things in Newfoundland. That's fine. It's not a fucking dead zone, a radioactive wasteland. I mean, I haven't been there in a while, but I'm assuming it has, it hasn't become that.
I think they claimed it could grow a lot. I think biophotic fabric was the thing that was innovative, and I think they just massively
did they not grow anything?
They did, but I think what they thought how much they could grow, the volume of what they could grow to make it viable economically, versus the cost of running it, were just wrong. They didn't there was no really good cost analysis to say this will work and it won't cost. We won't have to leave the heating on full all the time just so it doesn't explode.
Right. So Newfoundland, because cheap land, I'm guessing, didn't take into effect how fucking cold it is up there.
And how little sunlight there was.
Well, if it's artificial lighting, I'm assuming you don't need.
No, I know, but they'd have to bring the greenhouses were supposed to use a mixture of natural light. But he was like, "Hey, we'll just put more lights in. It's fine." And then what happened was they then had to sell the cucumbers at a loss. So in the summer after their first growth, they were selling Newfoundland cucumbers in Nova Scotia for 59 cents, which was 51 cents lower than the production cost.
Oh my God.
When they got to a point of at their peak, they were producing 75,000 pounds of cucumbers per week. And then suddenly it
sounds amazing.
And then suddenly it started, they all died for no reason. All the cucumbers died.
What?
There was some kind of disease got into the plant and killed all the cucumbers, which is just bad luck. And Sprung claimed that it had been sabotage, and he offered $10,000 reward for anyone who could be arrested for murdering cucumbers.
And?
No, well, people seemed... the agriculture minister claimed that it was... He said the claim is similar to what comes out the back end of a certain agricultural animal. Which is good jokes from an agriculture minister.
That's top notch there.
Yeah. I'm assuming he meant shit from a bull, not droppings from a sheep.
Keep going. What else could it not be? Give me more examples.
Tiny chicken feces puddles.
That is an awesome punk rock band name. Just saying.
Tiny chicken feces puddles.
Like if anybody out there is starting a punk band and they're like, we need a name, and I don't know what our name is going to be. Tiny chicken feces puddles. It's perfect.
Yeah,
I can't think of a better name.
Solid name.
So you're welcome. I think we can shut this podcast down now. We've served our purpose and we've given back.
I think we can end our lives too. This is why we brought you. We're done. There's no more reason to exist. It's fine. Do you want to hear the end of this story?
Before I kill myself? Yeah, sure.
So the greenhouse, the Premier, Peckford, it became a huge disaster it snowballed into a huge disaster. And negative press kind of just kept piling up. And the opposition parties managed to really kind of talk about the waste of taxpayers' money. And the Premier's popularity just started to vanish, especially because they were making cutbacks in hospitals and schools at the time while blowing all their money on cucumbers. And then the cucumber company.
Did they say why cucumbers? Like, seriously,
why not?
Well, could they not think of perhaps a more popular vegetable?
They have got milk. The tagline is cucumbers. Why not?
I could probably think of various reasons, but please continue.
In the UK, they used to have a saying, "Go to work on an egg." It meant like eat an egg, don't ride one.
Oh,
to work.
Thank you for that.
No problem. Just translating the cultural differences. So they kind of the company went bust in the end, and then it was bought out by somebody else, and then bought out by somebody else. And they tried to improve things and reduce the cost. And then what happened was they just abandoned the operation. They packed up the greenhouses and sold them off, and it was dismantled and shipped out of province.
Just quietly, like.
They were like, oh, this isn't working. I think they took it to Quebec.
What's the guy's name that ran all the whole thing? Fuckface McGee? Philip Sprung. Philip Sprung, right? Yep.
Yeah.
It was on the tip of my tongue.
So they did a Seamus O'Regan, who was a
very Irish man.
I know. Yeah, it was. I think he was a judge. Justice Seamus O'Regan, in 1990, led an investigation to see what went wrong. And they said that there was no proper investigation into the technology or economic viability. And once the government signed the contract, failed to consult with experts on the operation's progress and unnecessarily sustained considerable loss of taxpayers' money. And also that the contract.
So hold on, are you saying that like this could have worked, but
it could have worked, but just
was the technology sound? Has it worked in other places?
Well, the contract, I don't think the government looked at the contract. I think they got carried away. So they looked at the contract, and apparently all of the financial risk was left on the government without any justification. So for the business getting involved, they were like, "Hey, this could work, but if it doesn't go right, it's all on the government, nothing to do with us." And then
That's just smart.
And then they flew off to West Ogdenville or whichever it was to build the next monorail.
West Ogdenville?
I can't remember the name in The Simpsons of the other town.
Oh, I thought this was a real place in Canada. I was very excited.
No. That would be good. So there we go. That was Cucumber Gate.
That was cool. That was all right. It wasn't too crazy. It was a failed entrepreneurial business about cucumbers. It was good. You're still keeping it up.
It brought down a premier. Just who would have thought it? The cucumber is mightier than the ballot box. Or something. I don't know.
That's good, Reese. You haven't lost your touch.
That was fun, and that was an efficient episode. We had small, really tight small talk, and then we got into the meat of it, and then we're getting close to the 23-minute mark, and we just nailed it. Look at that, we're back on track.
I love it when you use words like tight and nailed and meat all in the same sentence.
Yeah,
if you could do that more often, I'm sure that's fine. Me and a lot of other listeners happy. So, can you talk about your car? Tell me about your car.
My car?
Yeah.
Oh, my car. The best thing about my car is that it has heated seats, and it also cools you down.
No, but you're supposed to use the words we just talked about.
You're
not picking up on that. I wasn't just like.
It's made of meat. The gap between the seats is tight. And what was the other one?
Nailed.
And the screws were gone when I had to put the new license plate on, so I nailed it on.
That's not as
there
good.
We go.
All right, that's
so your expectations. Also, as well, last week we did the call to action of if you like all our posts, and we had 4 people do it on Instagram, and we had 1 person do it on Twitter.
That's amazing. And what are their we're going to let them choose a topic, is that right?
Yeah, we're going to let them choose a topic, and we'll dedicate that episode to them. So they've all chosen their topics. I got them written down for the future.
That's awesome.
So what can people do for a special prize this time, Jesse?
For just liking our stuff again?
Just go to Patreon. Go to Patreon. That'd be a good one.
And sign up on Patreon. Just give us money. I have something that I did today. There's a YouTuber called Max Fosh, and he's quite funny, and he does these little things like, okay, I understand now why you don't like me doing ASMR. You do it horrible, really gross. Yeah, but I do it classy. Like you purposely are trying to make me throw up a little bit.
No, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your story.
With incredibly loud sucking and chewing noises.
No, tell me a story about whatever the YouTuber is wonderful. You spend all your free time watching YouTube in your bedroom.
Not all my free time. Anyway, he's very funny, and he does stuff like he can sneak into the security conference without just by faking a badge, which he did. And I wrote to him and I asked him if he'd like to be on our show, and he wrote me back immediately, and he said no. And I think everyone should write to him and convince him to be on our show, and then
stop harassing him.
And then when he finally agrees to be on our show from being harassed, I'll say no.
I like that he immediately replied to say no. That's great.
Took time out of his busy morning. Yeah.
And also some big news. We have an agent for live events.
Woohoo!
So if you have like a festival or a conference, and you would like me and Jesse to do a talk, and it's kind of called Whatever Your Conference Is About Is Boring.
We're going to think of a better name, because that's awful.
Yeah. We did one for. We did one for a HR conference called HR is Boring.
It was like 800 people online during they had an all day. Yeah, it was lunch, like an all day virtual session last year for human resources. Just super fun. And then they had us on for the halftime intermission show. And it was actually really fun. And Reese taught them about how human resources is boring, which wasn't hard.
I talked about how Stalin used HR to rise to power in the Soviet Union using murder. So
if you have a company and you want entertainment, you know who to come to.
Yeah, so if you go to our website, the CanadianPoliticsIsBoring.com, there's a book us section, and then you can reach out, and if you want us to come and maybe you're in the cardboard box industry and you want to do cardboard boxes is boring, or you pump crude oil out the ground and you want to do crude oil is boring, we'll write a bespoke show and record it for entertainment of people.
There you go. So that's 4 call to actions, people. 4. You've got your fucking work cut out for you tonight. 1, like every single one of our Instagram posts.
You don't have to do that one.
Oh, don't do it. Okay, so that one's optional. The other 3 are obligatory.
There's 5 call to actions now.
5.
Fifth one is ignore the first one.
We like giving really complicated call to action.
And if you don't know what to do yourself, then just look after yourself. That's number 6.
Make a sandwich.
Just have some you time.
Yeah, that's always good. So that's 7.
Yeah,
there you go. Okay, that's good. Yeah. All right, I think we're done.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Cucumber Gate. Cucumber Gate.